Well, by the sound of that guitar, it's definitely time for Crypto the WonderDog Show. This is Dean, and I do believe I have Charles in charge on with us, don't we?
Yeah, you sure do.
Hey, Charlie.
Listen, Dean, given everything that's been going on the last, few days, I suggested we change the music, that stinger. And this is what I propose that we start singing.
All right.
Or start, using it. It's called Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. Nobody knows but Jesus.
I think even Jesus is feeling the pain today. Well, not today. I think, today was, it seemed like a pretty good day. But Monday, everyone woke up to a bloodbath on Monday morning.
Oh, yeah. The funny thing about it, when you and I were talking off air a few days ago, and we were mentioning the fact that just a couple of hours before, or a few hours before this all fell apart, we had our last broadcast or podcast actually talked about the dangers in dangers in robot trading. And guess what happens?
Yep.
I'll go through the report.
Damn, R2-D2 took us down.
That's right. That's right. Hey, listen, I wanted to say something. Yeah, there's one thing that gets to me that just bothers me more than I think I can imagine, is when somebody comes in and says, well, what you saw was a correction. Yeah? This is a correction. Well, if it's a correction, that means that somebody was wrong. Somebody was spectacularly wrong.
Yeah.
The Dow Jones fell more in terms of points than at any time in its history. It was down about 1,200 points at one time.
Oh my God!
In terms of points, in terms of points, it was the worst drop in its history. Not in terms of percentage, but in terms of points. So it was a spectacular mistake that somebody made. Now, again, go back to what we were saying, that it's almost entirely computers and robots or at least computers that are doing our trading, our stock market trading. The reasons we were told that we need them is because they're supposed to eliminate these kinds of mistakes, and they're supposed to be very, clinical and very, mathematical about how they trade and how they're able to do their job. Well, I think it just basically tells you the dangers of just believing in the sanctity of anything that has digital or technology or computer in its title.
Yeah.
It's still people who are writing these formulas and these algorithms that are claiming that this formula, this mathematical function that we somehow slap into our computers is capable of telling you everything you need to know about the economy or about the market. It takes in all the factors, and it says, yes, we have been able to figure it out so well that this mathematical equation is going to be able to determine it all. Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's not the way it works. It's still people attempting to I'm not going to say are arrogant enough, but who are attempting to try to quantify everything about the economy in one formula or in or a few algorithms and a few formulas.
Yeah. Well, it does seem like that. But, on the flip side of the dog day, Monday morning, dog day afternoon, we also had an NSYNC moment with buy. Everyone thinks that now it's time to buy. And even taken from the words of the great Warren Buffett, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. So everyone was freaking out. Oh my God, the sky is falling. But yet it seemed like that. It seemed like the perfect time to buy in and get you a few more of those crispy Bitcoins. And watch them fatten up.
Well, yeah, it's true. Excuse me, but what's the basis for it? No, nothing has changed. I mean, when you saw everything fall apart, it was almost instantaneously. I mean, are you trying? Not you, but is anybody trying to tell me that the economy was so? That they could figure exactly what happened economically. that would cause the stock market to react
Well,
like that.
I'm not going to say anything about the stock market. I don't really know on there, but the couple of things that I did read about the crypto market was that there were some, things in China that China was going after the a lot of these market sites, and people were freaking out. So, and then also, I'm going to be doing a show later today about Davercoin, which was another trading or a lending site, and we also what happened with BitConnect. BitConnect crashed and burned, and their coin is in the toilet. But yet, it not as much as Davercoin. Davercoin, everyone was talking about how great.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Charlie, you there?
Yeah. You there?
Yeah. Oh, crap. I got a problem with my cord here.
Okay.
Okay. We're back?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay.
Hello? Some ghost in the machine.
Okay, it sounds like we're back now.
Okay.
Scary. All right, I think it was the...
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you now.
All right, I don't know what's going on. I may have to switch a cable here in a minute. You might have to take over the show for me. But so I was talking about the BitConnect coin really took a dive, but everyone is dumping Davercoin.
Okay, Dean, you're cutting out on me.
Hey, Charlie, take over the show for a few minutes. I'm going to switch cable out. Go ahead.
Hello?
Take over for the show for a few minutes. I'm going to switch out this cable.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, while Dean is doing his magic, there was something else I wanted to bring up to the audience and to Dean and to anybody else who's listening or cares, is the fact that we have to be extraordinarily careful not to fall into the trap that technology is going to be the thing that saves us. It's not. If that were the case, then all you'd have to do is, or maybe a case study of this, is what happens with education. I cannot bring up the charts or the sources, but they are on our channel. And excuse me, the example that I gave Dean, or we were talking about earlier, was if computers and technology was the thing that was going to entirely save us, then why hasn't it worked in American schools? We've had computers of one kind or another since 1990. So we've had technology, and in fact, technology of all sorts have been in school, or as part of the curriculum for decades. There's nothing new about bringing in technology of any kind, but specifically computers. So we've had almost 30 years of some form of electronic transmission of content in the classroom. Guess what? The quality of American education and the results, academic achievement for K through 12 continues to collapse. Literacy rates in the United States have in fact begun to fall. Certainly have not increased, according to the Brookings Institute. We're spending 11 times more money than we did back in the 70s on education, on public education, or just education of any kind.
Check.
And yet okay, there you go.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I was just finishing up the thought that we were talking earlier about how if technology was supposed to be this godsend and save us all from all the the perils of human intervention, then how come we don't see this in schools? Like we were talking about earlier, we've had computers in one form or another in schools since 1990. So electronic content has been delivered from at least that period of time, and yet there's been no increase or no measurable increase at all in terms of academic achievement. We're spending 11 times more money than what we did back in the 1970s on public education. And yet, the academic achievement continues to fall. And it's fallen relative to every other, or most other developed nations in the world. We're something like 48th in the world in terms of Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development.
Yeah.
They test 15-year-olds, and we're like somewhere in the 40s. I mean, are you telling me that a country like, I think Slovenia is better than, or the Czech Republic is better than we are in terms of academic achievement? Are you trying to tell me it's because they got better computers in their classrooms? So my point is this: we can't, fall prey to that, to the swan song that all we need is technology and it's going to save us. It's not true with the stock market when you see these so-called corrections that come in because somebody obviously made a mistake. And we have to be cautionary with cryptos as well. I mean, they are based on similar technology than what you have in the stock market. And by the way, we're very, very lucky. We keep telling our audience we need feedback. We need you to tell us how to make this a critique, how to make the program better. Well, guess what? I have a friend of mine, a good friend of mine who's a listener, former mathematician. His name's Dylan. He's going to come on the air hopefully today or as soon as today to tell us, to have a discussion with us as to what I said last time that he took issue with. And when I talked to him, he was very clear and very articulate about some of the things I said. And when I went back and I listened to the broadcast, I said, yeah, it wasn't my intent to say that, but I could understand very well how anybody could take it that way. And, my point was that, or he read it to mean that, the algorithms that run computers for crypto are the same that run those for the stock market. They're not. Or the algorithms and the math, they're two different things. I was just saying that they're both reliant on similar technology, but it didn't sound that way. So I wanted to bring him on as a way of encouraging everybody that we need your feedback. We need you to tell us how to make this a better channel.
Yes, everyone needs to leave a comment in our just below the video here. Also, please like and subscribe. That gets us seen in a few more places. Also, tell your friends about it. Come on the show, talk to us. We have a live chat going on right here. Anybody could just pop right in. And I think we're still in the kind of what they say, the infancy stage of our show. People, not a lot of people know about it, but we're hoping to build that up. So please tell all your friends and neighbors. You guys sit around in the morning, have a cup of coffee, listen to the Crypto the WonderDog show.
Now, granted, Dean and I are just, we're just wonderful human beings, great dancers, and just, people that you really want to know. But we're not smarter than the collective intelligence or the collective wisdom or experience of possibly thousands of you that hopefully are going to be listening to us.
Yeah, but not smart asses, though. No smart asses.
Pardon me?
No smart asses, okay? No smart asses.
Yeah. So we're smart asses, but we do need you because we think that, part of the reason we started this channel is to get, information for ourselves. So a lot of you guys are out there who know quite a lot. And we encourage you to come in, not just to inform us, but to inform the rest of the community. So,
yes,
we're not that arrogant. We're not going to sit there and pretend that we know anything. We know a lot, but we don't know everything, and we certainly can use you. And, one of the things I don't want to turn this channel into is I'm not going to name anybody else. There's no reason to do it. But I'm not going to sit here and prognosticate where I think a certain Bitcoin or crypto is going to go in terms of price.
No.
We're not doing that. I don't care how many disclaimers anybody puts up that they're not a financial advisor, so don't take their advice. And then they go,
please don't take mine. Oh my God, I have been nothing but losing on this whole thing. And I thought, the minute that I got into this, I'm like, this is going so well. I should probably stay out because the minute that I get in, I'm going to ruin it for everyone. And I think I did. I think I ruined it for everyone.
Well, that's what the markets the last few days have been telling us. There's no real rational that I can see explanation or excuse for what the world is going on here. There's nothing here that tells me that something makes any sense because it doesn't to me. And so I really would like to and I'm not going to put anybody on blast. I'm not going to denigrate anybody, but I just want everybody to be cautionary about this. So, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. So, you sent me another an interesting thing here about GE.
Yeah.
Thread regarding General Electric Company layoffs. GE is predicted to be delisted from the Dow. Per this morning, Deutsche Bank is predicting GE will delisted from Dow. If this occurs, mutual funds will have, there's a lot of words missing in here, will have choice but to, I think they were supposed to put a no in there, have no choice but to sell GE stock. Look for more great news from GE in FY 2018. These corporate GE folks need to be pimp-handed for their continuous blunders.
Yeah, I'm sorry I sent you this particular one. It showed up on mine, but I'm not sure why it's not showing up here. Who knows? But anyway, it's FY means fiscal year. But this is GE. Okay, folks, let's just get something straight. You know how we talk, you and I always talk about the real economy. There has to be some connection to real economy, production of real goods that meet people's actual needs. This is General Electric. This has been on the Dow for over 100 years. They actually make the engines for your jet planes. They make probably a lot of the products that you use every day. They're about ready to be delisted because they're crashing. Their stock price is crashing. Not the
That's
company
crazy.
itself necessarily. Yeah, and yet you take a look at the FANG economy, which is made up of Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. So Facebook is a way for people to gossip with you. I shouldn't say that, but it's a social media platform. Amazon is just this electronic department store. I mean, not to say that they don't provide a valuable service, but that's what they are. They're pretty much they're not making any of these products. They're just delivering them to you. Netflix is a way of being distracted for, cheaper than you could if you went to a theater, and Google's a search engine. I mean, not to say that these companies don't provide something of service, but they don't, when you compare that to a company like General Electric that's based on research and development, creating products that actually have plant and facilities, and they're going to be delisted, it kind of tells you how hollowed out our economy has become. And that we're relying on more and more on a lot of hype and a lot of PR and marketing for our investments. And that's why I'm cautioning people, not to buy into anything, the rhetoric. You have to do your due diligence and really, really investigate more deeply.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the coins that I've been watching is Electronium. I've seen a lot of news on that one lately. And at this time right now at 9:17 in the morning on Wednesday morning, it's at 38% rise. A lot of green in here after this whole bloodbath on Monday. But you look, and that is buy. Everyone's doing the buy, playing little NSYNC.
Well, there's something else I wanted to point out. It's on investing.com. As green as everything is for the cryptos, everything is absolutely red for the commodities, for the precious metals, and just absolutely getting slaughtered. And remember how we were told a couple of days ago, or we talked about weaker dollars?
Yes.
The weaker dollar, that it was the actual policy of the Treasury, U.S. Treasury, to weaken the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's up almost 1%. The dollar, ever since that we were told, or the Treasury came out, Robert Nugent, who's the Treasury Secretary, came out and said, kind of ratified that. The dollar has now been increasing. So we're getting this disconnect between what's the official, with their jawboning, and what's actually happening. So at this point, if the smartest minds, or the people that are supposed to be our leaders, can't seem to get anything straight, or giving us contradictory messages, I'm at this point, I'm just very leery of anything. So,
well,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking here at tradingview.com, and they're talking about Bitcoin is up for grabs. Should I buy or quit and sell all? And you're looking down over here, and you see the buy zone. and it's really close to it. Really, really close. It's tinkering in it. Right there, boy. And I think some. I don't know how long this chart is here. I don't know how many days we're looking at here, but this is where it, went into right in here. Boom, and here we are, like right in here. I don't know how to make this chart any bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But today we're in the 8,000s. We're back up over here now, so it's gone out of the buy zone, back up into the little bit of the red zone. So what do we do? What do we do?
I don't know. At this point, I just wait and see. There's no reason to go rushing in. If the markets are this volatile, then you probably will know that there's going to be another fall and maybe another place to enter.
Well, if you look at the chart, it doesn't show any sign of rebound, really. I mean, it bounces, it's like a bouncing ball, but some of these tokens that people are looking at, let's just type in Davercoin, DAV. We'll look at Davercoin here, and it's like a concrete basketball falling, and there's not much of a bounce here. I mean, you look at it, and you look in the last couple of days here, and it's got a lot of volume. I mean, look at that volume, crazy amount of volume, but it's apparently all selling because, you look over here at yesterday. It was $4.61, right?
Yeah.
At this moment, right now, we're looking at 31 cents. It's lost 81% in a day. And then you do something like BitConnect. The BitConnect coin. BitConnect coin has lost 47% in the last day. And it's doing kind of the same thing, and there's gigantic volume here, and apparently all selling because it's just going down and down and down.
Well, Dean, one thing that we have to mention is the fact that there are a lot of people who are in a lot of pain. I mean, we don't mean to make light of anything and just throw these numbers out and not realize that there are people connected to this. So I know, at least from some of the testimony I've read on various websites, people have, and if it's all true or if it's close to being true, a lot of people are in a lot of financial and emotional pain right now because of what's happened.
Yeah. But if you look here on the chart, okay, this is last year's coins from January 1st to December 31st. And if you look at the gain in these coins, and the same thing happened early last year, and there was a huge dip in the market and stuff. But I mean, look at these gains. Bitcoin 1,300%, Ethereum 8,000%, Ripple 3,000%, Litecoin 5,000%, and these are all gain. I mean, they're nothing. It's pretty straight across the board. There's a gain, like insane gains, and aside from Bitcoin being at around $8,000 a day, pretty much everything. Ripple, it's at $2. It was at $2, on December 31st, but it's down to $1.85 somewhere in there right now. Everything gained. Everything was gaining. So I don't think that people should just relax. Just write it out. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's. Yeah, exactly. But and I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying that anybody should buy or sell. I'm not saying that. I'm not giving any of those recommendations. I'm just basically saying I don't think there's any need to rush in or rush out. See where the market is what's happening, because you're in an extreme period of volatility.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that these are relatively new markets and new currencies, so they don't have a long history of we don't have a long history to be able to judge the quality of these investments yet. So, again, just proceed with caution. But, you and I were talking about MORIA token, which is a gold-backed crypto that I believe it's still in its initial coin offering. I think it closes the end of the year. or the end of the year, end of the month, sometime before the end of the month it'll close.
Yeah, it's like 17 more days. 17 days and 14 hours.
When they propose that we do this, now they're saying that they are backed by gold. So let's do a better analysis of, because this has intrigued me, quite honestly. I'm more intrigued about the commodity-backed cryptos than any of the others that are on here. And I'm not making a recommendation, folks. I'm just saying I'm intrigued because it gives me a chance to take a look and see the performance, the actual performance against what they are actually claiming or what they're saying, see how they work. And so if it's backed by a commodity such as gold, then let's take a look at an analysis and periodically check back on MORIA. Check to see how it's, where the price of the token is, where the price of the currency. Then check the gold market. Check the mining shares, mining sector of the stock market, and then check it against the dollar. So let's have a more inclusive analysis that takes a look at all of the various elements that make up the price or the cost of this, the value of this currency. So hold on. Check the mining. No, I've got a problem. So that's. Sorry about that. I don't know where the hell that came from. But,
we're two professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, geez, what the hell happened there?
Yeah, I gotta get my interns to quit screwing around in the studio here while I'm trying to work.
I apologize, folks. I don't know what happened. I don't know where that lag came from, but that's.
Anyway, so, but I was listening to our buddies over at the Bad Crypto podcast, and they had a guy on either a day or so ago that was talking about these other currencies that are backed by a tangible product. That it isn't just a smoke and mirror type of a thing where, ooh, look, you could have this coin, and everybody's running around going, yeah, but it doesn't do anything. It's not real. There's nothing there. But we look at a few more of these like MORIA that is backed by gold. I think there's going to be a few more of those coming out. I think that people would be more interested, especially the younger people or the older people who are more experienced investing into commodities that would invest in something like this. Don't you think?
I would think so. Well, I actually have talked to people over the. I do have more people than you and my wife in my life. So yeah,
what?
I actually.
You have friends? I got rid of all my friends.
Well, I don't know if they're not friends. They're just people in my life. It's like the people who I owe money to are not my friends. They're just people in my life. So. But anyway, and I talked to somebody and they said, well, why, if this is so good, if this is such a great deal, or they propose that this is such a great, why don't they just do the traditional initial public offering of a stock and raise money that way? Well, why do they have to go through cryptos? I mean, it was a really good question. And I said, well, cryptos are supposed to be, and this is the answer I gave them, I said, cryptos are supposed to be the alternative. You're not supposed to be system, they're not supposed to be system coins or a system or doing the traditional ways of doing things because they apparently believe they don't work and this is a more efficient way of doing it. And but nevertheless, it was a very good question and one that needs to be answered. Why don't you just go out there and do that? How did you determine that raising money through cryptocurrencies was better than doing it the traditional method, either through issuing a bond, getting debt, or issuing stock? That's a fair analysis. That's a fair way of looking at things like this, and a critical way of looking at things like this. And we need to get the answers from people from MORIA. I'm not saying we're going to get it, but we sure like to get them and be able to talk to them as soon as possible.
Yeah, if anybody out there has a finger on the MORIA or MORIA, or however you pronounce that, people, don't get a hold of us. We'd like to talk to them. Come on our show and come back in the wonderful Heine Winery studio and sit back and grab yourself a little Heine and talk to us.
Yeah. Well, Dean, I'm going to have to cut this short. I guess we're going to have another program later tonight.
Yeah, well, we didn't get to a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. One of the things I wanted, I did mention this one here, the Warren Buffett quote, be fearful when others are greedy, be greedy when others are fearful. I've heard that a few times, listened to the other shows. We did talk about the declining productivity of education, Also, the American Schools versus the World, Expensive, Unequal, Bad at Math. All these links are available below the video here. Go in and read the full articles for yourself. Why the stock market plunged Monday, Dog Day Monday, Dog Day afternoon. Crypto, the WonderDog, he doesn't take kindly to that kind of talk. He's a good dog. Good doggy. Good doggy. Anyway, Charlie, it was great talking to you again. Once again, our wonderful sponsor, Heine Winery, made in beautiful downtown Yermo, California. You know, yesterday on the way back from Vegas, I passed by Yermo and stopped in, had myself a little Heine. My wife wasn't very happy about it. But then she had herself a little Heine, and she knows now why I like a little Heine. And, you know, we had a few minutes off the side of the road there. And it's like an oasis. If you're cruising in from Vegas and you think that the resorts in Vegas are something, you should stop in Yermo. Talk about just a beautiful oasis. You would not believe it. Just hidden gem in the foothills there, just over between Vegas and Los Angeles. Just wonderful little place. I encourage everyone who hasn't stopped into Yermo to stop in. Give the folks over at Heine Winery a tip of your hat and let them pour you a little glass of Heine. Wrap your hands around little Heine.
You know, Dean, as I've gotten older and more mature, I realize that I need a more mature Heine. You know, when I was young and impulsive, I didn't realize the importance of letting a Heine wine just mature and go to its full fruition. And as I'm older and more wiser and more experienced, I realize the importance of a mature Heine wine. So I suggest that everybody else do the same.
Yes. Do yourself a favor and get yourself a little Heine. Do it when you're out on the road, but don't drink and drive. Don't drink and drive. Yeah. Pull over to the side of the road there at Yermo. Have yourself a couple of Heines. You know, nothing wrong with a couple of Heines here and there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful show this morning. We'll be back again this afternoon talking about some other things in the crypto world. For Charlie and myself, we'd like to have you come. Shoot, my freaking microphone's going out again. Stop in, say hi to us once in a while. Like and subscribe. For Charlie and crypto, this is Dean from the Crypto WonderDog Show.